and welcome to another episode of the Power Half Hour. I'm your host, Dorothy O'Dell, for this evening. I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's show, which is Cast Magic. If you are a podcaster or if you are a coach and you want to get some of your time back, this is the app and tool for you. It has saved me at least 10 hours worth of work each week. So go get your free trial today. I swear it will help your life make it a lot better. With that, Dr. Christy's in the house. Welcome.
Thank you, Dorothy. How are you?
I'm great this week. Thanks to you.
Happy to
So,
help.
I know, right? And it's funny because I love promoting and giving people the stage that, you know, that likes help other people. And you are one of those people. Dr. Chrissy is actually my holistic doctor, even though she's in Illinois and I'm here in Canada. So, it works. Doesn't matter where you're at in the world. Definitely, you won't be sorry. But with connecting with this lady today, let me tell you. So I gave a shameless plug, but let's hear a little bit about you from yourself. And I know that you're an author and all that. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about, and you got some exciting news. So I'll let you share all that.
Well, where do you want me to start? That was a lot.
I know. I was just like, just be quiet. Let her talk. Wherever you want to start. You want to start with your new news and your new location?
Sure. Let's just start there. So as of, I believe it was February 27th, I should actually have that date committed to memory. Whatever the last Tuesday of February was, I officially opened my own practice in Glenville, Illinois, called Elevate Health and Healing. And so for those of you who have not ever met me before, I'm a holistic chiropractor. And so I do a lot of things, not just crack necks and backs and things of that nature. Anything that you would go to a traditional Western medical doctor for, I love working with and try to do so as much as possible without drugs and surgery. Those things exist for a purpose, and I believe that they are there for a purpose in acute crisis management. Generally speaking, we can do things without those methods. And so that's one of my passions, to support people no matter what health situation they're going through. And yeah, so the last 5-6 weeks now has been amazing. It's been beautiful. I literally walk into my new office space and I'm just filled with love and joy and gratitude for the space that's been created. And I'm seeing lots of patients, and it's just been a beautiful healing space. So that's my exciting news.
I love that. And it is February 27th. I did look it up for you.
Great. Thank you.
And, absolutely. I just want to give a shout out to Dawn. She says, "Hey, Dr. Christy." And so, yeah, I love that for you. I can't wait to see the new office. See the space there. I got to be careful what I say. See the space, see everybody that you have in there. Actually really looking forward to that. So what else is going to be in this new space? Because I know that you might use it for other things.
Yeah, brilliant question. So when I opened this office, so like I'll even share, like when I first walked in and I was looking for spaces for a good couple months, trying to find the exact right location for myself. And talk about manifestation. I really feel like I pulled this out of nowhere, and I was like, I want to be in this location. I put like a pin down on the map. I'm like, this is the intersection I want to be at, give or take like a half-mile radius. And I found it. And when I first walked into this space, it was, am I allowed to swear on here? Is that okay?
Sure.
It was a little bit of a shithole. And but there was something that I felt intuitively. I walked in and I had a vision. I could see it. The space that I have is actually 2 units in the professional building. And so I saw the one, which had 2 treatment rooms and then like a bigger, like main, what would be a reception room, which would have been totally fine for my needs. But then there was another unit right next to it that had another 2 rooms. So the way I saw it though was I knock out this wall and it becomes a larger reception area and then 3 treatment rooms, which it just was like, I literally could see it as if it was already happened. And so my vision is ultimately to have events, workshops, seminars, other friends and colleagues and people that I know and love and trust in the space also just sharing the spotlight with me and just like coming in and, doing coaching or goal setting workshops or meditation workshops or things of that nature. Right. And so other, complementary healing arts and coaching services and everybody who is in my world, personal growth and development and health and wellness industry, has a place in my space to kind of just help support people, because we're all on the same team trying to help people become their best selves.
I love that. Love that. What made you decide to get into chiropractic and especially in the holistic part of it?
So going way back now, I didn't even know chiropractic existed or that it was even a thing until I was in my early 20s. So it's not like I grew up with it or anything along those lines. I was in my undergraduate program, and I look back at old college essays, because you know how when you leave your parents' house, you leave a bunch of stuff there, and then 10, 20 years later, your parents go, take your crap back. So my mom told me to take all my crap back. And one of the things I found in this stuff that she gave me was old college essays that I had written saying, what I really want to do is be in the holistic space where I'm working with people, helping support their mind, body, and spirit and ultimate health goals. So I was into this space before it was a thing and before I even knew what the heck I was talking about. So it's really cool to just kind of see, yes, this was my calling ever since I was 17. And so I went to college, got degrees in biology and psychology. And back then, of course, mind body medicine was not a thing. And so people used to ask me, like, why would you put those together? That doesn't make any sense. Apparently, I was ahead of my time. Now it's mainstream. But after graduating, I ended up working at Abbott Laboratories for a while, which is, if anyone knows what Abbott Labs is, it is a giant pharmaceutical company, which is not really in line with what I promote. Of course, like I said, everything has a purpose. So I was actually working part-time at a chiropractor's office at the time, because my mother met this chiropractor. She's like, Christy, you got to go see this guy. He's like right up your alley. He did this talk with my gym. I think you'll love what he does. And so I said, sure. And I went and started working for him part-time. And shortly after that, I was like, wow, this is like absolutely amazing. It's everything I've ever wanted in like a profession and never knew existed. And so I was starting to plan my escape, starting to plan like, okay, maybe I'm going to go back to school for nutrition or chiropractic or something. And I was like, okay, I'll stick with Abbott for another year, year and a half. And when the time is right, I'll quit and go pursue this. Well, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, often tells me to do things quicker than I'm ready. And shortly after I had that moment of, okay, in a couple of years, I'm going to get ready to go pursue this new dream, Abbott had a huge layoff, and I was one of them. And it was like, okay, here you go do it now. And that's actually exactly how opening my own practice happened just recently. Was, okay, I'm thinking about doing this. I was talking with a friend, Jen, like she and I were on our way back from a women's retreat with another friend of ours. And she asked me, like, Christy, when are you opening your own practice? I know you've been saying this for years. When are you actually going to do it? And I was like, okay, I'll do it in about a year, year and a half or so. And then about a month later, everything collided and the universe took over and said, no, you're going to do it now. So this is the story of my life, and it's absolutely beautiful, and timing is always divine.
Right. I love that you said that, because, the universe or your gut or God tells you certain things, and it's just like you don't want to hear it, and you're like, no, no. And it's funny because that's what happened to me last week. I've been hearing the message to slow down and to take better care of myself, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, well, the infection hit, and then it was just like, nope. Now you really have to slow down, and you have no other choice. So
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because, like, when we're not given the choice, and we're just like, it happens, but it happens for the best, I believe, truly.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dorothea. I think there's something universal, energetic happening right now. Just everyone in my house has been sick. Myself, I've gotten a little bit sick, and it's just enough to be annoying. And I was literally, even because Tuesday nights are my long night at the office. And so I had literally seen a full day of patients, and I love what I do with every cell in my body. And it was a long day. I was done at like 9:30 last night. And I get home and I'm catching up on patient emails, and I'm sitting in bed going, I should just go to sleep, because I'm starting to get a little burnt out and my body needs me to rest and take care of myself. And my conscious mind is going, but you need to just respond to these last few patient emails first. even I don't always listen, although I'm taking 100% of a day for myself in a couple days. So I am listening. It's when you're opening your own business, it's like there's a sense of me that's like I really can't stop, and I love what I do so much, and I'm so passionate about it and helping, supporting all the people that I love. It's actually hard to slow down sometimes. And like you said, our bodies will tell us under no uncertain terms if you need to take care of it and you're not listening fast enough.
100%. 100%. Yes. Well, it's funny. Did I tell you that I looked up what the left eye means spiritually?
No.
Overwhelm. Like
Ooh.
when the left eye goes like that, like it did for me, it's overwhelm. And I'm like, oh well, gee, doesn't that just align with everything?
See, I would have said eyes to me represent seeing. So like, what in your life are you trying not to see or block out? And then I always often say like the sides of the body, the left side represents the feminine energy, right side represents the masculine. And so if there's some imbalances there, I mean, there's so many different sources that you can look up. And so whatever kind of resonates to you, I would not have found overwhelm. So that's a really good one.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, well, whatever. Let's nip this shit
Yeah.
in the bud.
Right.
So,
But that's part of like what I love and look up for patients and stuff all the time is like figure out where and how their body is manifesting other disease. And so whether it's an eye or a stomach or a gut or a skin infection or something like that, there's almost always underlying reasons for it. And I swear the longer that I'm in practice and quite frankly just alive, the more I feel like everything has an ultimate energetic or emotional root cause. Because we're emotional beings. We get stressed, we get overwhelmed, life happens, and our bodies are going to tell us how it feels about those things.
100%. And it's up to us to listen to our bodies.
Right.
And then when we don't, that's when we call you.
It's funny. People have like actually told me like that I won't have seen them for like months. And I would have told them, okay, let's follow up in like 2, 3, 4 weeks or something. And months go by and they finally come in and I've sent them emails and just like check on them and crickets. And then finally they come back and say, yeah, I've been avoiding you because I wasn't doing everything that you told me to do. And so I didn't want to come back until I was being good. I was like, that's when you actually need to come in. So I can actually offer you the support and work on your body so that you can actually continue to heal, even though you're not doing everything right. Mm-hmm. When you're doing everything right and you're taking really good care of yourself, that's when you don't need to come in as often.
Right. True enough.
And people are human. And it's like they're embarrassed. They're like, I just didn't want to face you and tell you that I wasn't eating XYZ. It's funny.
Yeah, because you will keep us on our toes. You will ask those questions.
With love.
With love, yes. 100% with love. 100%. So now you are an author. So tell us a bit about your book.
Sure. So I have 3 boys. They are 13, 10, and going on 8, which, by the way, I can't believe. And so they were the inspiration for writing my first book, which is Coordinating the Chaos Through Birth and Burnout. And so it's really geared more towards the early postpartum woman who is, they have a baby and you look at then yourself in the mirror and you're trying to keep your own sanity while trying to keep this new small human not only alive, but healthy and balanced while working to keep your own integrity in place physically, mentally, emotionally, and the whole everything. And when I went through that period for the first time, I didn't even realize that I had postpartum depression until like 2 years later. Like I remember sitting on the couch and I remember the exact moment where I looked at my husband and was like, I think I'm depressed. And they give you all those screens early on, make sure you're not suicidal. I wasn't like obviously depressed, and I was like, I checked all the boxes, everything was fine. But I had slowly over the course of those 2 years, like eliminated myself from what I call the equation of my life. It was like, I'm now a mom, so now I don't matter. I have no needs. I have no wants. I have no desires. I don't have a career. I don't have passions. I'm just this vessel that created a human, and now that's all I am. And I lost myself in that process. And it was slowly over those couple of years that I went, I don't think I want to live like this anymore. And I didn't actually figure out how I wanted to live until many years later, which is, 2021 is when I wrote the book. And my son at that time was 11. Yeah. So it took me some time. But if I can even help one woman that's kind of going through that identity crisis, so to speak, feel better in her own skin and support her hormones, and then not only her life, because if you're not taking care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, how can we expect moms to take care of the children and the family? Like, there's just no way. And so that was the reason for the book in the first place, was really to just support the woman in that stage of life. And I'm sure that anyone who has kids knows the chaos does not stop in that first year or two of life. And so the goal is to have Coordinating the Chaos Part 2, which is through toilets, tantrums, and toddlerhood, out by the end of the year. And so my goal is to stay ahead, a stage or two with each book that I'm writing, so that I can not only speak intelligently on it from my own perspective and my own experiences, but then patients and my kids and things of that nature. So toddlerhood chaos coming by the end of the year.
I love it. You heard it here first. The second one will be out by the end of the year. Love that. And it's funny because I've never given birth, but I did read Dr. Christy's book, and I learned a lot of different things, even as a step parent, that helped me get through some stuff and made me go, oh, that's why. Okay. So
I remember your comment about the placenta, though. You want me to talk about that?
I was just funny that you freaking mentioned that, because my girlfriend of mine gave birth today, and that was the first damn thing I thought of, and I was like gagging as I'm at work. So yeah, talk about the placenta. That's just disgusting.
So, well, every woman is different. I'll start out by saying that. Placenta encapsulation is exactly what it sounds like, where you take the placenta, and a postpartum doula can take it, clean it, sterilize it, and then pulverize it, basically dry it out, pulverize it, and put it into capsules for you to consume postpartum. Not every woman needs it, but if you do need it, it is completely and totally life-changing. I did not know about this technique when I had my first son. I learned about it before my second and did it, and literally I had no fatigue despite being up every 2 or 3 hours. I stopped bleeding faster. I didn't have any mental or brain fog. I was present and alert and happy and awake, and just like, now granted, the birth situation was much different for my second than it was the first, but it was completely and totally life-changing. I did it again for my third, and it wasn't as necessary. Like, I could tell intuitively, like I can muscle test myself and know, okay, I really didn't need it with the third, but it wasn't going to hurt anything, so I did it anyway. But when a woman really needs it, it literally changes everything, and you feel completely and totally different. So I highly recommend, if there's anybody that is watching this, that they are pregnant and considering like how to make sure that they're hormonally and energetically balanced postpartum, it's definitely something to look into, and maybe connect with a holistic practitioner who can muscle test to determine if it's actually best for you.
Yeah, no, I did read that, and I did gag.
It's not like you're taking bites out of it. It's in a capsule. You're just taking it like a vitamin.
I understand. Do they make but okay, where did I see it? I was watching something this week where they were talking about that, and they made it into like they mushed it into powder, and making capsules out of it too. What was I watching this week? I forget what I was watching. I don't watch much TV. I don't have time for that. But I was watching something, and I swear that that's what they were talking about: taking the placentas, making it into a powder, drying them out, making them into a powder, and then capsulizing it. And I thought of you right away.
I mean, if you think about it, the placenta is an amazing organ that sustained your child's life for 9 months. Not only, I mean, yes, and so there's a lot of people who sometimes say yes, but it's also like a waste ground, because it's detoxifying, and anything that was poisonous from that whole process gets absorbed in there. But it's also fueling that baby as it's growing, and so it's this massive powerhouse of nutrition and support that hormonally and energetically and nutritionally is just so valuable when it's necessary.
Right. Right. I mean, kudos to you women out there that are giving birth. I mean, yay, go for it.
I'm done.
I'm not even going there. I'm way too old to now. Forget that. If you about 7 years ago, I would have been all over that. Now I'm just like, nope, nope.
Yeah, well, and it's comical because I think you have been one of the people who've asked me this question, but also many people have asked, are you going to go for that girl? You have 3 boys. I'm like, shop's closed. Shop is closed. I'm not rolling that dice for a 4th time.
Well, anything's possible though, Dr. Christy.
You're right. And if we're being frank on your show, Dorothy, I know my body and my cycle really well. And so I'm taking precautions to be sure we're good.
But both of you are still have working things, so anything is possible.
That part's true. Few more years till menopause.
Jason, if you're listening, you could consider.
What is he to consider exactly? Ah, yes. Mm-hmm.
No pressure at all. That is your body, your choice.
Totally.
But if we want to make sure that there's no little Dr. Christie's.
Yes, we are good.
I just love it. I'm not putting him on the spot or anything. I don't even know why we went there. But anyway,
Sure this is your show, honey.
You never know what's going to happen or be said on this show. It's funny because I just recorded a show for Monday night and we were talking about living in authenticity. And I had said that there were stages in my life that I feel that I can't be 100% of who I am in front of different people. And so you're actually getting the raw, uncut version right now. And I feel that, well, I always feel that I can be who I need to be or whatever with you. So
I love that.
There we go.
It's awesome that you said that because I actually had a patient today, and part of what I do, which but part of what I do in my sessions with people is we do a lot of muscle testing. Every muscle in the body connects to different organ systems. So we're pulling apart all these different things. But on the emotional front of health, I'll often muscle test and be like, okay, there's an emotional component here. And then we dig through the meridians in Chinese medicine and figure out what emotions are correlated. And what came up for this individual, she's had a lot of energy work done in the last couple months. And she just went into this little giant dialogue before we started working around, I've seen this person, and then this person said that I picked up this shaman from this place, and just all these things. And she was so excited and passionate to share all this stuff with me. And as we went into her work and her treatment, something came off the list emotionally that she was unable to express confusion or unable to express herself within her friendships. And I asked her, I was like, can you connect any of that? And she looked confused for a second. And then it hit her that all the stuff that she had just shared with me so vulnerably and authentically and just so passionately and excitedly, she can't share. She can't share with the closest people in her life. Her husband, her close friends, they don't know her on that level. And she's uncomfortable talking about it because she thinks it might make her weird or this or that. And I mean, I feel like we've all had those kinds of scenarios. And the older the older I get, the more I'm becoming myself, regardless of what other people think of me. And so, but it's a process. Mm-hmm. And this person that I was working with, I shared some of my story too. And I was like, yeah, this is, but with what she's dealing with, it's important to get that physical release out of your body and open things up and share things, because that's, when emotionally we're stuck and we're holding on to stuff, that's when our body starts to manifest disease, because things are not flowing in perfect alignment. And when your body knows that, it's going to, like we talked about earlier, it's going to express its displeasure for that.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Well, that brings me up to my next question then, because it was just right there. So who would be your ideal client? If you could, you probably don't even have to close your eyes to tell us who that is. Whom is it that you best serve?
Women definitely are definitely more of my target market. My ideal perfect patient, so to speak, is a woman with a family who is overwhelmed, whether she works or stays at home with the kids. It's all work, so it doesn't matter what label it has. Um, but someone who's just trying to keep their own life together and their families may have a couple things off, physically speaking, whether it's high blood pressure or headaches or a rash, like anything that it might be one of those things that you go, it's not that big of a deal. I can just write it off. When we write stuff off, it just magnifies and grows in our bodies so that in a decade from now, it might not be something you can ignore. If we can deal with it now, it'll be so much easier and you'll be so much healthier in the long run. And so someone like that, and then of course supporting their families too. I love working with kids, and people often ask, like, do you work with children? And I said, yes, I love working with children because they don't have as much stuff, generally speaking. Like, someone comes in who's in their mid 40s, that person has had mid 40s years of accumulated traumas and stress and overwhelm over those years. You bring in a 7-year-old, they got 7 years worth of stuff. We can overcome that much more quickly, especially if mom is doing the work on herself. The kids often pick up on mom's energy. And so I often like to start with the parent because we get them balanced, them taking care of themselves, them eating right. It sets the stage for the whole home. And then when you bring the kids in, it's much easier to go about it.
Right. Perfect. So
I
if
often
you
remember a
are,
quote. Sorry, I often remember a quote that says something like, it's much easier to raise healthy kids than repair broken adults.
that is okay. Perfect. Thank you for saying that, because that is on a billboard in Port Huron. Um,
Nice.
and it's funny because I was dating somebody at the time, and I saw it, and he looked at him, and I'm like, yep. And, I mean, not that I was pointing fingers, but I mean, this guy had a lot of trauma from childhood and things like that. And I'm like, so true. As somebody who, if I see it, I definitely heal it. That's for sure. Once I
Yeah.
see it, I can't unsee it. So anyways, that is so true. I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. I just had that conversation with Kimberly this week, actually,
Mm.
about, and said exactly, tried not to massacre that. So I love that you
Yeah.
said that.
I mean, and trauma is trauma. Like it's a new buzzword lately, but trauma can be anything to anyone. And quite
Mhm.
frankly, like, when I take histories from patients, I hear that, what was the most traumatic thing in their life? Sometimes it's horrifyingly traumatic. Other times it's, oh, you know what, when I was 9, my mom refused to buy me hot chocolate and it really bothered me that day. You know what? That might be a first world problem, but it was real to that 7-year or 9-year old. And,
Mhm.
the meanings that you then create around what that means, like, I don't get my needs met, I'm actually not lovable, like the weirdness that our brain then goes through to then identify what that means in our life. And then as an adult, we then pick up some of those similar patterns that don't serve us anymore.
Mhm.
It's all part of the puzzle that is the human entity. And I just love working with people to help support them clear whatever the traumas those were.
I love that you said that, because what they consider trauma, we might not, but it doesn't matter. That was how they perceived it. And
Absolutely.
so it's their life, and that's how we should be. It's their life, their trauma. They're the ones that have to clear it. So absolutely
Right.
love it. There was another thing too. I know we're getting close to the time here, but you had mentioned something. You always asked me before we started about how my mom's childbirth was with me, and what her thoughts and feelings were when she was pregnant with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't even realize that that was something or a thing. Can you share a little bit about that? Because especially for that woman that's like pregnant right now and feeling all this overwhelm, what is or all these thoughts and feelings, what is that really doing to their child?
I mean, so much. I remember with my second pregnancy, we were living at my parents' house at the time. And so I had a 3-year-old in my parents' house in like their like little second like studio apartment basically area of their house, sitting there stressing, being like, I'm stressing about stressing because I know stress isn't good for the baby. So we've all gone through it. But the state of mind and physically and mentally and emotionally where the mother is at it transmits to the baby. And so the baby picks up on literally every single thing the mom feels or experiences. And it sets them up for, so, like, can they overcome everything? 1,000%. It doesn't necessarily, like, it's not a, it's not like, and I've got issues with people saying genetics, are, they give you the exact duplicate perspective of what your child's going to go through or be. Same concept with this, like nothing is 100%, but it does energetically set things up for how that child will view things and perceive things as they grow. I also often ask like what the pregnancy was like, because this is really important. If you're somebody who, your mother had the best pregnancy ever, and she literally wishes she could be pregnant all the time because she felt so much better pregnant than she does not pregnant, that's actually not a good thing. That means mom was adrenally depleted and fatigued, and then she got pregnant with you and felt so much better because she was utilizing your adrenal hormones when she was pregnant with you, so then you were born adrenally fatigued. And so then you are more likely to have asthma, eczema, allergy type responses, oftentimes anything that would be an adrenal type issue. So we could talk about this all day, and I know we're past time, but I felt like you asked that question, I had to get that one out there.
Absolutely. Yes. And I wish I would have thought of that earlier, but it's all right. Everything happens for a reason. We'll just have to have you come back.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to, take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy woman with 3 kids and a hubby, so I totally get it. So thank you for coming on, though. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Absolutely. It's always a blast with you. Don't forget, go check out elevatehealthandhealing.com. Where is that the best place for people to get in touch with you, or where is the best place for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, either that, that's my website, or we can always throw my email in the show notes and that sort of thing. I'm happy to, field questions as far as that's concerned, or social media. So Christy Matuziak DC is my name on Facebook and LinkedIn. And then I think Holistic Christy DC is Instagram.
Perfect. I will have all that information in the show notes, like Dr. Christy said. Thank you so much for being on the show. Just want to give another shout out to their last sponsor of today's show, the Canberra. If you're needing more time, money, or resources, definitely go check them out. They have free resources as well. Every Tuesday night, they have a, what do you call that? A ritual called the 411. So definitely it's one of the teachings of Gary Keller. So definitely go check that out. And, thanks for joining us today. And thank you so much, Dr. Christy, for coming on and sharing about Elevate Health and Healing. And for those of you that are in need of a holistic doctor, she is your first choice.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Absolutely. Bye for now, guys. See you same time, same channel next week.